Moving right along, the next thing that we need to do is we need to auto tangent basically our breakdowns and the top of the bounce. So what we're going to do is I'm going to select all of the keys, and then I'm going to click on this button here. It's this little tangent or this little curve thing. It's got the handles and the A. So that's our auto tangents button. So once I click that, what's going to happen is it's going to create the smoothest possible curve that it can based on what where I place those keys. So, and by the way, sorry for all of the so's and the ums in this tutorial. You could tell that I clearly didn't prepare it very well, but hopefully this is helping you along the way. Let's maximize the graph editor, and we want to look at this really quickly for a second. We didn't talk about this in class, but typically what I would do is I'd grab the top of the extremes here, and I would use flat tangents. Now, Auto should have done that for us, and it did a good job. Then what we want to look at is we want to look at things like, is the tangent handle crossing over the curve? And in this case here, I'm going to say yes, it is a wee bit. So I'm actually just going to move those handles up just a wee bit. Or I'm sorry, move the key up just a wee bit so that the handles are basically equidistant on top of the curve. Same here. We're going to move that up, and we want something like that. Let's look at these. They look pretty good, but again, we can adjust it. And then finally, this here. I'm going to make sure that my handles are not crossing over. That's bad. But just more or less like that right there. You can see that the handles are sitting on top of the curve. So now, if you look at the curve, it's really nice and smooth. And if we look at the bounce itself, it plays back quite nicely. Still too fast, so let's fix that, and then we'll be done with this part of the tutorial. So our auto tangents are done. What we now want to do is adjust the timing. This animation is currently on 1s. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to do it on 2s instead. But unlike traditional animation where 2s basically give you 2 of the same exact exposures, in this case here what we're actually doing is we're going to get transitionary drawings in between our keys and our breakdowns. We'll do this by going to the dope sheet. So once again, animation editors, dope sheet. Select this, and I'm going to select all of the keys. Then I'm going to right mouse click in that window and choose Edit, Scale, Options. That brings this window up, and what we want to do is we want to do a time scale of 2, which basically will scale our timeline to 2 frames per 1 that we currently have. And we want to set the pivot to 1 because 1 is our first frame in this case. And so I'll hit Scale Keys, and I'll hit A in this viewport to frame all, and then I'll hit A to frame all here as well. Things don't really look different, but when I play the animation back, oh, well, it really looks bad right now. Let's drag this out so that we're seeing 24 frames. And you'll see that we have a nice ball bounce now. Well, nice. It's perpetual and mechanical, but it looks pretty good. All right. I'm going to save this file as auto tangents and 2s. File, save scene as. Oh, there we go. Auto and 2s.